guys, got some breaking news though, and that is that Erica Wheeler has signed with the Seattle Storm. But before you start envisioning Erica Wheeler in a Seattle Storm uniform, let's break it down because the move isn't necessarily what it seems.
During her appearance at an NBA game, one simple yet bold gesture had fans buzzing, and before long, social media was flooded with reactions. Some called it a tribute, others saw it as a statement, but almost everyone seemed to have the same takeaway. Was this Clark showing respect to a legend, sending a message, or just letting her competitive fire shine through? Let's dive into the moment that has the entire basketball world talking.
So I think a lot of people thought that she was going to cost the Fever too much money and that maybe she was going to be looking to get that max contract back. But clearly it doesn't seem to be the case.
So what exactly did Caitlin Clark do? Why is this simple gesture sparking so much discussion? And what does it reveal about her growing influence beyond the WNBA? Stay with us as we break it all down.
It clearly doesn't seem to be the case because she is, she's signed a training camp non-guaranteed deal with the Seattle Storm, which I mean is not good. Is not good money for her.
This is just the beginning. Caitlin Clark's rise isn't just about basketball. It's about cultural impact, media dominance, and a shift in how women's sports are perceived.
I think just the excitement and the energy around this league, around our team, but at the same time, I think just learning day by day, that's going to be the biggest thing for myself, and I think continuing to stack days. Whether you learn one little thing or you learn a lot, I think continuing to improve is going to be the biggest part of it for myself, but also don't lose the fun of it.
How often does a simple hand gesture spark nationwide conversations? How many athletes can turn an in-game celebration into a viral moment that dominates social media, sports talk shows, and even NBA coverage? This isn't just hype. It's a reflection of Clark's unique ability to command attention, whether she's dropping 30-point games or simply showing up courtside. For those who have followed Clark's journey, this is nothing new. She has used this celebration for years, a signature nod to her lethal three-point shooting and fearless style of play. But in this moment, at an NBA game, this seemingly small gesture carried far greater significance.
Is that she was a terrible on-the-court backup to Caitlin Clark. Everything that Wheeler wanted to do was the opposite of what Caitlin Clark wanted to do, and vice versa. They were a horrible horrible meshing on the floor with each other, except for when Erica Wheeler post-Olympic break started playing small forward and just sprinting. Fair enough, it was okay, but that's not Erica Wheeler's A game. I don't think that's the game that she wants to play.
Within minutes, social media erupted. Fans, analysts, and even former players weighed in on what they saw. One fan tweeted, "Caitlin Clark just made a simple gesture and the entire arena reacted. She's not just a WNBA star, she's a basketball icon." Another added, "This is why she's different. Her presence at an NBA game is as big of a moment as any player on the court." Some took it even further, suggesting that this moment was undeniable proof that Caitlin Clark's influence isn't confined to the WNBA, it's stretching into the broader world of basketball and beyond. The electric crowd reaction, the cameras zooming in on her, and the internet going into a frenzy, this wasn't just about a simple hand signal. It was a statement, a reminder of the sheer magnitude of her impact. So why is this blowing up? Because it's bigger than just Caitlin Clark, the player. The WNBA has seen legends, but very few have reached this level of cultural relevance so early in their careers. Clark isn't just making noise, she's shifting the conversation. She's already being mentioned alongside some of basketball's biggest icons, not just because of her skills, but because of the way she commands attention in every arena she steps into. The fact that an NBA audience instantly recognized her, reacted to her, and turned this into a viral moment proves one thing: Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie, she's a crossover superstar redefining the landscape of women's basketball. Moments like this are what separate great players from true icons. Michael Jordan had them, Kobe Bryant had them, LeBron James has them. And now, Caitlin Clark is carving out her place in that conversation. Her presence alone demands attention, whether she's lighting up the scoreboard or simply sitting courtside. This isn't just about what she does with a basketball, it's about the energy she brings, the way she captivates audiences, and the undeniable aura that follows her wherever she goes. Players like her don't just play the game, they change it. The way the cameras locked onto her, the way the NBA crowd instantly recognized her, and the way social media erupted, it all speaks to something bigger. It's the same aura we've seen with the likes of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James. These are players whose influence transcends the game itself, creating moments that live on far beyond the final buzzer. And Clark is now stepping into that space. She's already been compared to the greats. But what makes her unique is how quickly she's captured the imagination of basketball fans everywhere. The WNBA has seen legends, but few, if any, have reached this level of cultural relevance so early in their careers. She's not just elevating herself, she's elevating an entire league, drawing in new fans, and forcing even the most casual observers to take notice.
Here's all you need to know about Caitlin Clark. When we would go to away games, they always sold out. Unbelievable. So Atlanta would normally have 3,000, 4,000 people. Now they have 17,000 people, and they sold 1,000 standing room only tickets. So when we walked into the arena, people were on that third balcony looking down at the tops of our players' heads to watch. I mean, it's really hard to take in. After a few away games and all of the sellouts, Caitlin asked the WNBA if they would pay spot bonuses to the away team players.
Caitlin Clark's presence is more than just a spectacle. It's a statement. When she steps into an arena, whether it's for a WNBA game, an NBA matchup, or even a college event, the energy shifts. Fans react as if a generational icon has entered the building, not just a rookie basketball player. The attention she commands is organic. People don't just watch Caitlin Clark, they gravitate toward her. Her impact on women's sports is undeniable. She's not just breaking records, she's rewriting the playbook on how women's basketball is perceived. WNBA arenas are filling up like never before, and ticket sales for Indiana Fever games have skyrocketed. Teams that were once playing in front of half-empty crowds are now selling out, simply because Clark is in town. Merchandise sales have hit unprecedented highs, with her jerseys selling out in hours. But the numbers are just one side of the story. The true impact lies in the cultural shift she's creating. Young girls now see a clear path to stardom in women's basketball, one that doesn't end in obscurity, but instead leads to national headlines, massive fan engagement, and real influence in the sports world. Parents who might not have taken their kids to a WNBA game before are now making it a priority, drawn in by the excitement Clark generates. Even in the NBA world, her presence is felt. When she's courtside, it's not just about her being a guest, it's a moment. Social media erupts with posts. Players acknowledge her, and even broadcasters make it a talking point. She's seamlessly bridging the gap between men's and women's basketball, proving that star power isn't confined by league or gender. More than just a player, Caitlin Clark is a movement. She's not only elevating her team, but also shifting the perception of women's sports as a whole. With every game, every courtside appearance, and every viral moment, she's reinforcing that women's basketball isn't just worth watching, it's worth celebrating. Caitlin Clark's presence at an NBA game wasn't just a casual courtside moment, it was another reminder of her growing cultural significance. The way she captivates audiences, whether she's competing on the hardwood or simply spectating, is something rarely seen in women's basketball. Fans don't just cheer when they see her, they erupt. Social media doesn't just acknowledge her presence, it amplifies it. Her influence isn't confined to the WNBA, it spills over into the broader sports landscape. The moment she stepped into Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the cameras locked in. Fans turned their heads, eager for a glimpse of the rising icon. Commentators didn't just mention her name in passing, they highlighted her presence, understanding that Clark is more than just a rookie, she's a movement. Even NBA players and coaches took notice. She's not just another spectator in the crowd, she's a symbol of the undeniable growth of women's basketball. The respect she commands from athletes across leagues is telling. Legends of the game see her as the future, and younger players look up to her as proof that women's sports can reach new heights. The game itself became secondary. The Knicks secured a 128-115 victory over the Pacers, but what people remember most is the electricity Clark brought to the arena. It wasn't about the final score, it was about the shift in energy. The the way the atmosphere felt different with her in attendance. Clark's ability to ignite a crowd, draw national attention, and elevate women's basketball isn't just impressive, it's historic. She's blurring the lines between the NBA and WNBA in a way few have before, proving that women's basketball belongs in mainstream sports conversations. With every courtside appearance, every viral moment, and every highlight reel performance, she's not just part of the WNBA's rise, she's leading it. Caitlin Clark's influence stretches beyond basketball. She's redefining what it means to be a transcendent athlete in real time. Her games don't just attract WNBA fans, they pull in entire arenas full of people who may have never watched a women's basketball game before. Celebrities, former NBA legends, and casual sports fans are showing up, not just out of curiosity, but because they recognize that something special is happening. The atmosphere at her games is electric, reminiscent of the early days of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, when their presence alone made the NBA must-watch television. That night in Indiana was another reminder of her growing legacy. The arena was packed, the anticipation palpable. Every time she touched the ball, the crowd held its breath, waiting for another jaw-dropping moment. And she delivered. Whether it was a deep three that sent the crowd into a frenzy, a no-look dime that set up an easy bucket, or a fearless drive into the paint despite the physical defense thrown at her. She doesn't just play the game, she commands it, forcing teams to shift their entire strategy to contain her. Even opposing players and coaches acknowledge that Clark changes everything. Teams that once approached the Fever as an easy matchup now prepare for them as if they're facing a title contender. Her gravity on the court stretches defenses in ways few players, male or female, ever have. Double teams come at her from the moment she crosses half court, yet she still finds a way to impact the game, whether through scoring, facilitating, or simply creating space for her teammates to thrive. But it's not just her skill set that makes her different. It's the way she carries herself. The expectations are enormous, the spotlight relentless, yet she thrives in it. Every game, she's not just proving she belongs, she's proving she's the future of the league. Critics have questioned whether she could handle the physicality, the speed, the pressure, but instead of folding, she's embraced it all, shattering records and elevating the Fever from a struggling franchise to one of the most talked-about teams in the league. So, what do you think? Was this just a fun courtside moment? Or is Caitlin Clark proving that her influence stretches far beyond the WNBA? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Stay tuned for more basketball moments that are shaping the game.